What's up, guys? This is my second white Power Ranger mold, and I'm about to pull the first cast out of here and see how it turned out. This is the first matrix mold that I've made. It's just a different way of making the mold. Some would say it's better, some say it's worse. Easier, harder to do, whatever. It depends on the person and what you're molding, I guess. So this is the first White Ranger helmet. My old mold wore out. I just cast too many helmets out of it, so they don't last forever. So I'm going to try this type of mold for this this helmet here that I had to remold, and we'll see how it comes out. Now, like usual, I cast the neck. I left that area on, or I want to leave it on. So I made sure to get enough resin here so that whenever I have to go to remold this again, it'll be a lot easier rather than having to put the helmet on a base like that right there and then do the mold over top of it. I can just take this that already has the neck on it. I can just glue it down to a board or whatever and remold it. And it's especially easier with a matrix mold because I can take this first cast and literally just put this shell back around it, and I can just pour silicone right back in and have a brand new mold. That's, I guess, one really good thing about a matrix mold, because you do everything sort of backwards. You build the shell first and then you pour silicone in afterwards. I can keep reusing this shell over and over again. When the silicone wears out, I'll close it around this cast and I'll just pour more silicone in. That'll give me a brand new jacket mold. That's what these holes are for here on the top. That's where the silicone got poured in. So I'm going to take all these bolts out. I'll cut the video and bring it back, and we'll take this out of here and we'll see how it turned out. Alright, now ideally I would have made this mold out of Rebound 25 silicone, but I didn't have any. All I had was 40, which is a lot stiffer, more solid of a silicone. So this mold, I used a shitstorm of silicone too. And what that means is that the silicone is it's pretty rigid. I mean, I can almost take this silicone jacket mold off of the helmet and it'll pretty much stand up by itself without this hard shell. So that means I can't really peel the mold and flip it inside out off of the helmet. It's just really rigid. So I have to just sort of, you'll see whenever I open this, just sort of have to pull open the back and sort of slide the cast out the back, rather than what I would normally do is just flip it inside out completely. So anyways, yeah, this is the jacket mold, and here's one of the inner shell halves. That's gel coat and thick fiberglass, 3 layers of fiberglass on top of gel coat. So, and I did the keys to keep everything perfectly in line. So, see if I can pop this out of here. It's going to be a little bit stuck because a little bit of resin went over the edge, so you have to bear with me. It's always a bitch getting this cast out that has the neck left on it. But luckily I only have to do this once. Alright. Set this aside. Okay, so you can see my thickness here of the silicone itself. So it's pretty rigid, especially with this sort of ring around the bottom, this lip, to be able to peel this off and flip it inside out. It's not really the easiest thing, so I'm going to break this off of here. Actually, some of this real thin stuff, just to get it out of the way. Getting cut off anyhow. I have a split line here in the back. I actually use this mold key. This is a key cutting knife or registration knife. Okay, it'll just add, so I don't have to do my normal squiggly cut line here. I can just do a straight cut with this and it'll add the registration to the halves, which you can see here. So it locks back together. Just going to sort of pull this apart. There's a little bit of a, like a static charge that holds this. You can hear it pulling away from the helmet. So now we'll just see if I can slide this right out the back. Sort of get it free first. Get that static cling that's holding it. And there it is. Pops right out the back. Zero seam line pretty much. And brand new helmet here. Alright, so I can set this aside. Show you the jacket mold here. Alright. So there it is. You can see again the registration. I didn't really cut it deep enough here, but there's still a lip there. It still keys back together fine. Alright, so let me swing the camera around here and I'll show you exactly how I can remold this if I need to. I'll grab you and bring you over here. Alright, so you can see how, like I said, this jacket mold pretty much stands up by itself. Just because of how rigid that silicone is, that Rebound 40. So anyhow, if I take this first cast here that I just made, and I ever have to go and remold again, which it'll happen eventually, they don't last forever, I'll just take this shell, okay, the same shell that I just had, and this fits right around here and leaves a space all around the helmet at a predetermined thickness, which for me is 3/8 of an inch, which is a good thickness for your silicone to be. So I'll take that, I'll put the halves together, I'll glue this down to the table with some hot glue, and I'll just pour more silicone into the top of this mold. It will coat the entire helmet and it will make a brand new jacket mold. So I'm happy with how it turned out. It did take me a lot longer, but I guess in the long run it'll save me time, because when I have to redo that, it'll go a lot quicker. So yeah, brand new, fresh White Ranger helmets, and I used 7 cups of resin on this one, so that bitch is heavy. I always make my sort of masters pretty thick, pretty robust, so they last. So I'll hit this with some mold release and some baby powder, throw it back in, and it'll be ready to go. There are the other helmets the other masters that I have with the necks, pink, black, and yellow, exactly the same as this. So, I guess that's about it. I'm banging the camera all into everything because this studio is quite full of shit nowadays. And, I also used my vacuum chamber for the first time. I don't know if you can see it down here. I used it on this mold, so there are 0 air bubbles. The vacuum chamber down there to pull all the bubbles out of the silicone before I poured it in. So the mold will last a good long time, and yeah, it turned out great. I love that vacuum chamber. It works really well. So that's about it. I guess I'll see you guys on the next one. I'm turning this into like a little studio tour. But, yeah. Alright guys, I'm gonna go. I got a lot of work to do. I'll see you on the next video.